and welcome to Council Action. I'm Russell Inman, and joining us tonight to discuss the council meeting is Tommy Siam from Ward 9. Now, this is your second time doing the show, so you had that first icebreaker.
Right.
We expect just that marvelous performance from you tonight.
Okay.
No pressure.
Thanks.
Hey, well, we had a really quick meeting to go through, so it would probably be a little bit of an easier show than last time for you. Typical things with the meeting. We start with the pledge. We had roll call, approval of minutes, hearing from citizens. Now that we had a couple of members come up and speak tonight, but this is always just a time where you as a resident could come up and voice your concerns or acclamations really to the city council. Let them know what you're thinking. If one of the residents wants to come up for the hearing from citizens or can't come up, is there another way that they could get their voices heard?
If they can't make it to a meeting to speak to us, you mean? In that case, then yeah, they can always contact us by email. Like my email for my constituents would be ward9 at florissantmode.com, and all the other council members are the same, I mean, with their respective ward numbers and everything, so you can contact your council person directly. If you have their phone numbers, I'm not sure if our phone numbers are published on the website, but mine is 314-757-2594. I'd be glad to give it to anybody.
Great.
And you can also call City Hall directly at 921-5700 as well. So.
Thank you. Well, Tommy, public hearings, this is one of the topics that usually takes up a little bit of kind of the meat of the agenda. And this public hearing was postponed. It was for Rubio's Fresh Mexican Grill, allow for the operation of a restaurant, grocery store. We started talking about this one at the last council meeting, and the council really spent a lot of time kind of diving into the business and trying to understand how it was going to be situated, where the aisles were going to be, understand the layout, the concept.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of unanswered questions, so it was pushed to this meeting, but then it was postponed. Now, why was that?
My understanding was that the owner, Marco Felix, had not communicated with Councilwoman Pagano in the past 2 weeks since then. So she didn't feel like this was ready to move forward for that reason, and the rest of us as well, because we didn't have a sense that any of those problems were being addressed or resolved or anything like that. So we just went ahead and postponed it till the next meeting.
Same questions yet unanswered. Okay.
Yeah.
Old business, we had an ordinance authorizing the special use permit for New York Grill, doing business as New York Grill. This is for a location and operation of a carryout restaurant at 540 North Highway 67. It's their second location for the city of Florissant. That passed tonight.
Yeah.
No issues.
No issues. Yeah, the first one is in Flower Valley Shopping Center, and this one is another. It seems like a good location, and we're looking forward to having 2 locations for these in Florissant. So
Good.
that's good.
Tommy, board appointments. Do you have any spaces that you need to feel that you'd like to reach out to your constituents to volunteer for?
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked, because I actually have an email list for my constituents, and I tell them in just about every email we always need volunteers for that. And the ones that really stick out in my mind are the Citizens Participation Committee and the Youth Advisory Commission. There are a lot of empty spaces on those 2 boards, as well as a couple others. I think the Veterans Commission is one of them as well, but that's the mayor. He has to make that appointment. It's his commission. But yeah, I'm always looking for people in my ward who want to serve, and I would love to have them. I would love to be able to appoint them to one of these commissions if they would like to serve.
And earlier you gave your email address, so if they want to serve on one of those commissions, they could email you at ward9 at florissantmo.org.
Absolutely, yes.
Let's talk about this first request, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Florissant to make an application under the Municipal Parks Grant for planning services at Mannion Park for an inclusive playground. Can you describe to me this concept for an inclusive playground?
Yeah, I think it's a very good concept, actually. This is the first of its kind in North County, and what it is it's planning for an architectural plan for them to construct an all-inclusive playground, meaning fully accessible even to those who are disabled. You know? So it's very good for children who are disabled, and any children. It'd be a good playground to have. So
terrific. And when would we expect to see kind of construction on that start if the grant goes through?
Well,
is there any timeline laid out yet?
It's going to have to be after August 2016, because that's when the application is going to go through. So, late next year, and then after that, the construction, I would imagine, probably wouldn't take very long, but it just depends on how it is and everything. So.
All right. Tommy, bills for first reading. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 6 bills here, first reading, they're all revolving around the city budget. And the first one was the ordinance adopting the budget for the city of Florissant for the fiscal year. That starts on December 1st, so right around the corner, and ending November 30th, 2016. That had one reading tonight.
Yes.
Are any of these other first readings here for the emergency management or compensation plan or part-time seasonal work, are these more of budgeting, housekeeping issues to kind of finish out this fiscal year? Is there anything really important that we should dive into?
If you like, it's up to you. But yeah, mainly at the end of the year. There's always a little bit of end of year adjustments and that type of thing that we have to do in various parts of the budget, you know. And this should all be pretty straightforward in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah.
That takes care of really what was going on in the meeting. Council announcements. You know, this is the week for Veterans Day, and Florissant just celebrated a Veterans Day parade with some good success again.
Yeah, I enjoyed my first parade as a councilman. I was in the fire truck, and I got to throw candy at the kids and everything, and I had a really fun time.
You threw it at the kids?
Well, toward the kids, yeah.
Good.
Toward
good.
the kids. I didn't want to
the kids.
I didn't want to hit anybody, you know. So.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
We had one of the council members always asks for team food donations. It's a big calling. We've got a lot of hungry families out there that could use the extra goods. And probably the highlight of what was talked about tonight, saved the best for last. The street tax was passed.
Yes. And we're very happy about that. That's one thing I wanted to do tonight, was I wanted to thank the voters of Florissant for passing this, because it's going to help us quite a bit, you know, in order to be able to fix a lot of broken streets, a lot of substandard streets and everything. One of the most common complaints I get as a council member is that, you know, whatever street a resident lives on is bad. You know, it's been slurry sealed so much you can't even see the curb anymore. Or there's too many potholes. It doesn't drain water properly, so on and so forth. So this is going to give us a very good opportunity to fix those things on a per transaction basis. It's a very small amount of money. You go to Walmart or wherever and you spend $100, it'll only cost you an extra quarter, but this is going to double or triple our budget for these things. So it's going to be a big help, you know, in order to be able to, you know, keep our streets up and keep our city beautiful, you know. So.
Does the city have an idea of when they would expect to be able to start making some of these first repairs with this money coming in?
I would expect that sometime next year. You know, now that this is passed, and it's going to take a little bit of time for the election to be certified, and then once that happens, then the county is going to send the information to the state, and then the state revenue department is going to send all the information to the businesses in the city of Florissant, saying, okay, your sales tax rate has to be this now. And then once consumers start paying that tax, then it's going to take some time to flow back to us, you know. And then at that point, then we can start, you know, getting these projects going and everything like that.
Well,
so I would think sometime in the next year, if I had to take a reasonable guess.
I'm sure the residents of Florissant will be happy to get their curbs back.
Yeah.
Tommy, anything else going on in your ward? Any new businesses that you know of kind of coming to the table that we might see open up soon?
Yes, actually, Councilman Shildroth, and maybe I should have mentioned this as well. Councilman Shildroth mentioned that there is a Dollar Tree in his ward over on St. Ferdinand, and Newhall's Ferry in Ward 9 is actually getting one too, over by Lowe's. It's going to be right in front of Lowe's, and it's actually on a piece of land that they bought from Lowe's, and so should be opening up in the next few months. And we're also getting a Starbucks on North Lindbergh, over by where the Leslie's Pool Supply used to be.
They're
over
finally
by
doing
Denny's,
a little bit of that reconstruction of that building.
So
council
people
talked about that probably a year ago. It's good to see that moving forward.
Yeah, it takes some time, I guess, for those things to happen. But yeah, it's gonna be a Starbucks, and people drive by, they see the building's been partially taken down, it's being overhauled, and they're starting to make the construction and everything. So
very good, very good.
Well, Tommy, anything else that you'd like to mention before we close out our show?
No, actually, I'm glad you brought up the things you did, and I can't think of anything else offhand. You were pretty thorough on that. So.
Well, thanks, Tommy, for taking the time out to join us to talk to the city about the agenda and really put it in perspective, make it easy for them to understand. We appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate it, too.
And thank you for watching. I'm Russell Inman. This has been Council Action. We'll see you next time.